Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone? Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. Good Friday morning. Awesome. Got my co-host here again. Michael, say hello.
Hi.
Excuse me. In today's episode is brought to you by Kenny Ingersoll TV. Please go check it out, Kenny Ingersoll TV. Michael, what are you up to this week on your channel?
Nothing.
Nothing new this week?
No. I don't know why.
Well, what's supposed to come out today that you're excited for?
A TDS update.
Alright,
I've been waiting for
so
this.
what is TDS for those that don't know?
Tower Defense Simulator on Roblox. It's a tower defense game. Takes a while to grind. Yeah. And it's finally updating. It's been over a year since I've actually played the thing that's gonna update with.
So he's excited for that to come out, so look for more videos of him playing that. Excuse me. And always, we got a book giveaway, but today we're going to do it a little different. So one of the first people to comment will be able to pick which book they want. So remember, we've got The Greatest Lessons I Learned from My Mom with Brian K. Wright. We've got The Power of One More by Ed Milet. We've got Happy and Strong by Jamie Villalobos. And we've got Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So first person to comment gets to pick one of those books. We're excited for that. And we're excited. This segues. Speaking of Brian K. Wright, he is joining us today. A writing coach, ghostwriter, radio show host, magazine publisher, helps people share their message with the world and monetize their expertise, and I can vouch for that. He helped me share my message in here. You'll see my name on this list. With extensive experience as a college instructor, he has created and implemented strategies to help people craft their stories. His best-selling book series, Success Profiles, Conversations with High Achievers, has featured celebrities such as Kevin Harrington, Chris Powell, Jack Canfield, Marshall Silver, Sharon Lecter, Tom Ziegler, and many more. Great book. If you haven't got it, go get that. What?
I want to also say that might be actually streaming. It's not streaming now.
We'll get back to that in a minute. So, he's also been featured on nationally syndicated TV show The List, as well as Entrepreneur Authority Magazine, The Good Man Project, and numerous podcasts. And today he gets to add this one to it. So, without further ado, hey Brian, how are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
Glad to have you on. I'm grateful for you taking the time to be here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
I've been looking forward to it. So we'll just jump right in to this book. Now, tell us a little what got you on this one. Now, the one before this was for the dad.
Greatest lessons I learned from my dad. Yeah.
Awesome. And then you did this one, and
Yep.
I unfortunately missed the dad one, but I was able to get on this one. I'm very glad I did.
Good.
So, excuse me. Sorry, I'm having a coughing hiccup. Sporadic thing here. So, writing about your mom, writing about your dad. Tell us kind of the story on that, what it was like to share those stories about your mom and dad.
Yeah. Well, the dad book came first. And the reason I ended up doing that one is because my dad passed last year in February. And I knew that I wanted to do something to honor him, some sort of a greatest lessons kind of book. I wasn't ready right away. I had to heal and just process what had happened and get used to life without him. And we miss him still every single day. But I've been growing my Facebook group, Authorpreneur Live, and it's free to join. I've got over 900 people in that group right now. And a lot of people who have contributed to these books are in that group. And I had a few people who said they wanted to share their stories about their dads as well. And so when that one was done, I knew that I had to do a book for mom too. And she's still here to enjoy it. So I wanted to do that and even things out a little bit, I guess. But it was a great honor and a privilege to do that. And now The Greatest Lessons has become a series. And right now I'm working on The Greatest Lessons I Learned from Being an Entrepreneur. Volume 1 is coming out very shortly. Volumes 2 and 3 are coming out a little bit later this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those ones as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've really enjoyed being part of this. And I could tell, from talking to you and having met you in person and just being connected with you as long as I have, I could tell, not just from it being your parents, but the passion behind it, regardless of who it was. Because, I could tell how much you enjoy writing books and, as you stated in the intro, helping others share their story.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about for a minute, one, why you're so passionate about writing books.
Yeah.
And then two, why you're so passionate about helping others share their story.
Yeah. I've been a writer for a long time. In fact, I wrote stories when I was in elementary school. If I was done with my homework, I would write stories based on TV shows that I was watching at the time, whether it was Lost in Space or whatever it was, Underdog cartoon. In fact, when I was young and we went to church at Grandpa and Grandma's house, I remember being pretty fidgety, and so mom would just hand me a notepad. Now, most kids would doodle and draw things. I would write. So I was never an artist. I was always a writer. So I've always enjoyed that. And then when I was an adult, when I became an adult, I ended up teaching public speaking, English, composition, and business math at a 2-year business college when I lived in Lincoln, Nebraska. And so the idea of helping other people write was fun. And then I decided long after that, well, why can't I just help other people write their entire books? If I can teach them to write their papers, why can't I help them write their books? So that's what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying it. In fact, today, the day we're taping this show, one of my clients is launching a book, and my next book is going to be launching probably sometime next week.
That is awesome. I love that, and and it helps you, like you said, use your talent. Growing up, you would always write stories and stuff, but it helps you to pull the creativity out of yourself and continue to grow that and develop that and do that with others. You're sharing your experience and sharing your experience of helping them. You get joy out of this, but you also get joy out of helping others. And, I see how many book launches that you do and stuff, and you're just passionate about it, and you want everyone to share their story and to be excited for that as well.
Yeah, it's great. It's really gratifying helping a first-time author get their message out for the very first time. It's fun. I enjoy it. And sometimes people explore wanting to talk about doing a second book. In fact, I probably have 2 or 3 people who are planning on doing their second book within the next few months.
That's awesome. And I know you and I are talking about helping me get one of my book series out in the coming months and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got another book in the works, and so
good.
And there's some things that I didn't even consider. Like, I didn't consider myself an author really until this, and now I can say, I'm an author. Not in a bragging sense, but in a sense of accomplishment. Like, I did that. Look, there's my name. It's right there. See,
it's right there. You did it.
It's kind of like I have to pinch myself. Like, did I really do that? Is that really?
You did.
Yep. Spelled the right way. Kind of a sense of accomplishment. A sense of, well, if I could do that, what else can I do? And it's like climbing Mount Everest in a way. It's like, yes. So, and because of your encouragement and your help, all these people were able to do that and stuff, and then continue to do the second and third book and create series and even other aspects of their lives and stuff. So I love that. I love how passionate you are about sharing the story. Why share story? I mean, with this one, it's pretty self-explanatory with this kind of title, but other titles, why should people share their story?
I think everyone goes through stuff, and sharing the lessons that you learned from that stuff is important because your story can help someone else who might be going through the things that you've been through. When you share your story and when you went through whatever it is that you're writing about, you probably saw examples of other people who went through the exact same thing. And so paying it forward is a really great idea. It's a legacy item for a lot of people. People want to write because they know that what they've written will live on after they're gone. And the longer that you prevent yourself from writing and sharing your story, the longer it is that someone who really needs you does not get to experience you.
I like that. I like the legacy aspect, because it is true. I mean, you take this book, Napoleon is obviously no longer here with us, but
right,
how many people have these books affected? And then, I like how you said people get to experience who you are through your book.
Yeah.
And when I first started writing my chapter for this, I'm like, sorry. My thoughts are imposter syndrome thoughts. What else can I say that hasn't been said 15 times yet? Or, who am I to share this message? And, it's, so what? It's a chapter in a book. Big deal. It's going to sit on someone's shelf in a month. But as I wrote it, I discovered more about me, and also remembering those, reliving those memories of what I was writing about. Like you said, legacy, it's like a journal. You're writing a journal for others to read. I want my kids to read these stories about my mom.
Yeah.
I want my kid to know things that I did with my mom, and and the other experiences that we had and stuff like that. So I love how you pointed out it's a legacy thing, and being able to share that and draw that, and then also the community, kind of that bond that builds itself with other authors. And the connections we've made. I had Lori Wren on the show a while back, and I'm connected with her through you.
Yeah.
So it's those new avenues, those new people, those new experiences, of just sharing your story and connecting with others that are sharing their stories. And we're on here sharing our story about sharing our stories. So and then people that are stumped, people that are partway there, halfway there, not sure what else to say, not sure if it's good enough. What kind of, how do you help them? How do you drive past that?
I think we all have imposter syndrome around things like this. And I think you just have to realize it's not about you. It's about the people that you're helping as a result of sharing your story.
I like that.
Yeah, it's true. And I think everyone does have something valid to say. And sometimes when people think about wanting to write their book, they think, I don't know if I'm ready to share my story yet. it's okay. I still haven't written that book yet, and book number 7 is coming out very soon. So I write about other things first, and I share elements of my story in those books. And maybe there will be a day where I put it all together in one volume, but I'm not there yet. I have a lot of other things I want to write about first.
And I think that's okay, because I've got like 6 books that I've started, and they're all at different phases, and some of the books I've got chapter 1, 2, 3, or I've got chapter 1, 18, and 7. So it kind of jumps around, and today I'm going to add this little bit, and as I'm writing these other stories, I've found that it inspires me to write this part in this book, and that inspires me more over in this book, kind of thing. So you're writing a story, well, you're writing several stories all at one time, that I found, at least for me. And some things that I may not publish, or it might just be for my family circle. But while I was writing that, it gave me, reminders, inspiration, content, whatever, for these other ones that I do plan to publish for the public. And again, doing so, it drew those memories out, and those experiences, and then also those connections, and sometimes I'll find that I even have to stop, because I'll have, brain freeze, or sometimes I'll just get emotional remembering those things and just can't write anymore, or can't think anymore, or I'll call my mom, or I'll call whoever and say, remember when we did this, and we'll just chat for an hour. So, and continue to connect and share stories and whatnot. And so I love how much writing your story brings to the table for you. I love how it makes you dive deep into who you are, especially depending, if you're sharing your story, you're not just writing an instruction manual. That's different,
right?
But if you're sharing your story about whatever, your journey through your career, through your business life, or through your personal life, or a mix of both, it brings out so much in you, and that becomes a story in itself, or a series of stories, and then something else, repurposing that content. We kind of touched on it a little bit. How do you repurpose some of this content?
Well, the Conversations with High Achiever book series, those are all interviews that came from my radio show first. And I realized after a while, way back in the day, I've been creating this content and not doing anything else with it except publishing it on a radio show. So I decided to start Success Profiles magazine, which is an offshoot of Success Profiles radio. And the feature article is always someone who I've previously interviewed. And then I invite people to collaborate their articles to fill it out. And I've been doing this for 4.5 years now. December 2017 was my first issue. And Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank was the first cover. And then I realized I could repurpose some of that content even more by creating a book series, Conversations with High Achievers. And so sometimes when I work with my clients to get their books done, I repurpose some of their content into magazine articles. And with my magazine, I will put ads in my magazine for my show and for my ghostwriting services and coaching services that I offer. So I cross-pollinate everything. And that's how you gain traction, is when you give the appearance of being seen everywhere, people must think that you're the expert.
That's awesome. And, I was going to say it's easy to repurpose it, but for someone who's not super tech savvy like me, it's going to take some work and some digging and stuff. But it's easy in the sense that, there's so many ways that you can repurpose it, like you said. I did an article for one of your magazines, and I've been able to use bits of that for other things as well, and same with the book, and and like you said, using it for shows and radio, and so, and then that even just evolves more more ideas. Like you said, the magazine came from it, because before you didn't have the magazine.
Right.
So just another avenue to help people.
Yeah.
Somebody that may not really want to listen to the show can read the magazine, and vice versa. Or,
Yeah.
It's kind of like the physical copy of the book versus Audible.
Mm-hmm.
And you're sharing your message on different channels and stuff like that, and
Mm-hmm.
and you're learning and growing you're showing yourself but others an example
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
of what is possible, what can be done,
Mm-hmm.
and getting away from that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at my notes real quick here.
Okay.
So if someone wanted to write a book, someone wanted to reach out with you, what would be like the process? What would be the first thing? Like, let's say I'm brand new. I got this story idea. I want to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first step?
Well, what they can do is they can go to writeabookforyou.com. And at the bottom of the page, there's a link to my calendar, which is callwithbrian.com. But if you go to writeabookforyou.com, you can see what I do. You can see testimonials. You can see the segment from the list that you referenced earlier. And if people like what they see, they can book a time to talk to me about writing their book. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. People can reach out to me there. Just say they heard me on your show. That way I'll know where that person came from.
Awesome. Now I'll make sure I got this correctly.
Write a book, WRITE.
Sorry.
Not a play on my last name. People told me to do that, and I said it's corny.
I apologize about that.
Not a problem.
Some of how it goes with a live show, right?
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Writeabookforyou.com. And so you book a call with you and then figure out what the next step is from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. And so you do ghostwriting, radio show host, magazine publisher.
Mm-hmm.
So you can walk them through step A to Z. Is there like a general time frame of writing a book, or is everyone unique?
It can vary. It depends really on how much you have to say. It also depends on how long it takes for you to review the work that I've given you. I work with very busy people, so it can depend on a lot of things. I tell people to expect 6 months-ish. Could be a little shorter, could be a little longer, but I'm not writing your high school term papers. This isn't going to be like we're done in 2 weeks. It's not like that at all.
Yeah, no, quite a bit different.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how else can you help people get past the imposter syndrome? What if people don't buy my book? What if it's not a good story? What if?
I think people underestimate the quality of the story that they have to tell. I think if you dig deep enough, there's something interesting that you have to say. And again, it might not even be about your story. It might be something relating to your business. Let's just say, for example, you're a real estate agent and you want to write a book that can help buyers and sellers. Think about the questions that people ask you all the time. Those could be bases for chapters. If someone tells you or asks you, how did you do that? And if people start asking you that, that's a clue that maybe you should write about that, to explain to people how you did that.
I like that. Again, content repurposing and stuff, because that's how a lot of YouTube channels are, just short little videos of how-tos. So thank you for sharing that. And
You're welcome.
And I like how you brought up that a lot of people underestimate, because that's certainly what I did when I started writing for this. I underestimated, is this going to work? And I probably rewrote it 5 times before I finally submitted it. And
okay,
because when I started writing it, I got down the basics and stuff, and then I'm like, nope, that doesn't quite feel right. That's not exactly how it went, or not exactly how I want to portray what happened.
Right.
So I think it's perfectly fine to tweak it and whatever to a point and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
and then I finally got to the point where I felt good about it, and that's what I went with.
Yeah.
When I felt it was right, when I
Yeah.
felt that it told my story how I wanted it told.
Yeah.
It took a while to get past that. I'm like, because I thought several times, like, what's Brian gonna think about my story? Is he gonna send it back and say, do something different, or is this gonna be rejected by the public? Somebody gonna skip over my chapter? Blah 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 blah. But then I finally came to the grasp, if you will, with myself. Like, nope, this is what feels good to me. This is how I want the story told.
Right.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, Brian, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for taking time to be on my show. If there was one or two other tidbits you would give, what would you say?
I would say think about what you want the world to know about you and what you know how to do, and just start writing. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time, but just start writing and see what comes out. You might be very surprised. If you really do want to write a book, ask people, if I were to write a book, what would you expect me to write about? The answers may surprise you.
I like that. And that may give you more ideas for several more books. I did something similar, and I've got 6 more. That's how I got like 6 more book ideas to start with, or whatever, or just life. I just started writing about life. So thank you for sharing that. Again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And please, again, reach out. He's an awesome guy. Go to that, connect with him. Make sure you reach out to him. So, and everyone watching, thank you for taking the time to be here. And remember to live your passion, fulfill your purpose, and explore those possibilities.